This is my sketch illustration of Jinu Saja's demon form from the K-pop Demon Hunters, and today I'll guide you through each of the steps so that you could draw this yourself. So grab a pencil and paper and let's get started. Welcome back everyone, and thanks for joining me today. For this lesson I'll begin with this 0.7mm mechanical pencil with a 2B graphite stick. Now if you don't have a mechanical pencil, anything you have around the house will work just fine. Now we're going to begin by breaking down the basic shape and composition before we get into the details. So let's start with a guideline coming down the center of our page. So we're going to start at the very top in the middle. Just going to lightly work our way down towards the bottom, just using these short sketchy lines. Let's move back to the center. We're going to draw another line and go across from left to right. Now I want to use these two lines to help us create a large circle in the center of our page. So from that center point, let's move up to the top right about here. Just going to mark this off. And then we're going to measure that distance from the center down towards the bottom and do the same thing. Let's repeat that across this horizontal line. So measure the distance from the center over towards the left and then over towards the right. And then we'll connect the center point of each mark with a curve to create our circle. So let's start with the top left. I'm just going to roughly work our way around. And the circle doesn't have to be perfect. We're just using this as a guide. Go around to smooth this out as best we can. Now I want to add another set of guidelines coming down the side of our circle. So starting back on the left, coming straight down, and then do the same thing on the right. Now with this portrait, I'm going to tilt the head down so the eyes will sit along the bottom half of our circle. So let's find the halfway point between the middle and the bottom. So right here. Just going to mark this off, draw a straight line going all the way across. Now let's create a gap in between the eyes. So from that center line, move over towards the left, right about here, come down. Now we're going to take that same distance over towards the right. So we're just going to balance this out. Now I'm going to place the eyes along this line. So from here, we're going to step down. Just going to angle the eyes going up and then out. Let's angle the eyelid going up and then out towards the side of our circle. From the end, we're going to step in. Just round out the side of the eye, coming down and in. And then we'll draw a straight angle line, coming down and in toward the inside point. Now I want to tuck the iris and pupil underneath the eyelid. So on the left side, we're going to draw a half circle, coming down and then up. I'm just going to lightly sketch this in, so if we need to readjust the placement, we can do that after. Let's go all the way down towards the bottom of our circle. We're going to sketch out a small circle for the tip of the nose. And then on the sides, angle the nostrils going up and out. Let's draw a triangle going up and in towards the middle. From the tip of the nose, let's step down, draw a straight line going across the mouth. Let's add some shape to the outside of the head. We're going to start from the left side of our circle. We're going to angle the head coming down and in towards the jaw, towards that mouth line. From here, it's going to angle this down and in from the jaw towards the chin. Right about there. And I'm just going to flatten that off. Now let's go back and add the eyebrows. Along this line, we're going to step up, angle the eyebrow, going up and then out on both sides. From the inside of the eyebrows, angle this down and then in. Let's follow this eyebrow line outside the head, along the top of the ears. Come straight down. And then we'll angle that back in. Let's curve the front of the hat brim along the forehead. We're going to start on the left side of our page, come down, across, and then up. Now I'm going to follow the side of our circle, angle the hat going up and then in towards the top. Now we're going to connect the bottom with a curve, coming down and then up. And then we're going to step up, draw the back side of the hat brim, going out and then down. Let's go back to the jaw. We're going to draw two straight lines coming down the side of our neck. And then along the side of the neck, let's slope the shoulders, coming down and then out. On the outside of the ears, we're going to draw two straight lines coming down. And this is for the string with beads. Now we just completed the rough sketch of the composition, so I'm going to go back and clean this up by erasing some of these guidelines. Now once we clean up our drawing, I'm going to go back and use this rough sketch as a guide to help us layer on some more details and refine the shapes. Now I'm going to start with the eyelid. I want to add some thickness to the eyelid and some curvature going out towards the ends. going to darken up the lash and the eyelid. And we'll just darken up the inside. Let's do the exact same thing on the right. Again, just bending this in. I also want to darken up the side, so going thicker along the top and then tapering it down towards the bottom. And then come across the bottom of the eye and then fade that in. Darken up the outside edge of the iris. And again, just making sure that the placement is correct. I'm just going to add that cat's eye pupil in the center. So a little point along the bottom. And we're just going to work our way across the side of the nose bridge. Bringing this down. And work our way across the eyebrow. I'm just going to roughly shade that in. And then we'll layer on the hat brim on top. Now with the mouth, we're going to start with the center seam first. Now I want to give this a slight shift going up towards the left. So we're just going to give him a little bit of a smirk. And then we'll add the upper lip. So starting in the middle. And let's add the lower lip. I'm just going to go back and layer the hair on top of the eyebrows. So we just want to brush the hair going across and then out and up underneath the hat. Let's go over towards the right side. Across the ear. And now with the side of the head, I'm going to add a little bit of a curve coming down towards the jaw. So just bending this out. And it's going to round up the point in the jaw and then come down towards the chin. I'm just going to go across and add the beads coming down to the center line as a guide. And I'm just going to line this up on the right. Let's add that thick string in between. I'm going to switch to my thicker pencil. This is my 0.9 millimeter, and we're going to add some contrast. So I'll start with the front edge of the hat brim. Just adding some thickness to those lines. And we're just going to add layers to the hair. And you can see that I'm applying some thick and thin lines, and this will just help give some weight to our drawing. So I'm just pushing those thicker lines, the heavier lines along the shadow areas, and then just tapering them down. Now across the throat, we're going to add 2 angled lines on the outside of the throat. I'm just going to use the side edge of my pencil to add a light shade to the hair. And then we're going to add a hard shadow line. So from the inside of the left eye, we're just going to bend this in and then down towards the side of the nose. Let's go to the outside of the eyes, add a shadow line just curving around the cheeks. And then we're just going to lightly shade the inside. Add a shadow line across the forehead, cast from the hat. I'm also going to add a shadow inside the ears. Then the nose is going to cast a shadow coming down towards the mouth. Just going to lightly shade that in. Also, we want to darken up the upper lip. Now we're going to position the light above the head on the left side, so the shadow is going to cast across and down. So we're going to start from the jaw. The head's going to cast a shadow coming down, go across, and then up towards the right. And it's going to darken out that area. Let's go a little bit darker with the shadow just underneath the chin, and then fade that down. Let's use the flat edge of our 2mm pencil and just darken up the shirt and shoulders. And we're just going to rough this in. Also the hat. We're going to start in the middle. Just going to darken that up. And then we just want to fade that out towards the side to create a little bit of a highlight halo. Now the top of the hat's going to cast a shadow in an angle, so we're just going to darken that up and work our way across towards the right. I'm just going to darken up the whites of the eye, going around the iris and pupil, and this will help make the eyes look like they're glowing. And we're going to use the side edge of our pencil to add those markings across the face. Now, as we get closer to the end, we're just going to finish off those markings, and always be sure to sign our artwork, and that's pretty much it. There's a sketch illustration of Jinu's demon form from the K-pop Demon Hunters. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. If you did, you might want to check out this video over here. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.